Yes, we are still in it. We are still in the Champions League hunt. We have achieved European football for the third straight season. Back-to-back nervy 1-0 wins with plenty of character and desire. First win at the Vitality Stadium in 10 years and a club record broken in the process. Presented by 24/7 Services. Let's review the three key issues or moments that defined Bournemouth 0, Villa 1. Welcome inside a buoyant and jubilant parlor in Delta, British Columbia, Canada. Did any thoughts of Evan Nielsen's 96th minute equalizer flash through your mind at any point during those frantic final few moments? They did for me. I aged 4 years in that last 5 minutes, but in a battle of brilliant Basque managers, it was Unai Emery who got one over on Andoni Iraola again, giving us what we needed. A chance, taking care of our business, not worrying about anything else, and making the last two games count. The draw at home by Southampton with Manchester City also offered a nice little glimmer of hope in the earlier kickoff.
What do you want? Guys, if you're watching and you haven't subscribed to Pete's show, then what are you doing? Click that subscribe button.
Among the thousands soaking in the sunshine on the South Coast, singing his heart out like the entire traveling contingent did for almost 90 minutes straight, sacrificing vocal cords for the 3 points, was Paul White from the We Are Villains clan. Found on virtually any social platform, including YouTube, where you can see some behind-the-scenes moments from the penultimate away game of the season. Give them a subscribe, won't you? Also enjoying the South Coast on Saturday was Owen Power, who found this on a local eatery's menu. And that actually looks half decent. It looks better than the stats. You know, looking at these numbers, you'd think Villa were battered. But this is why numbers need context. We just never allowed the Cherries to press and pinch. And once the goal came, it was Villa bunkering down with very little in the way of a second half attack. Look at the touches in the opposing box stat. But the only number that matters is 3, as in 3 massive points. Minor issue, maybe. Bournemouth likes to attack the end that they were attacking in the first half. Now, did Villa win the coin toss and turn them around? Did Bournemouth win the toss and say, we don't want the sun in the goalkeeper's eyes in the second half? Whatever the case, every little bit helped Villa get over the line at a place where we have not had a lot of success, the Vitality. Remember that awful start to Gerrard's second season, down 1-0 early, losing 2-0. Phil Coutinho trying to conjure up some magic. It's been awful there. This week's transfer gossip has Aston Villa chasing the next Duran, a kid called Kenny Queton, at Le Havre, and he hasn't even made a senior appearance for that club. Turns 19 in July, and ideally they want him playing with Sfera Nipan. Let's hope that one is getting closer. The other name that keeps bubbling up is Christian Mosquera at Valencia. He turns 21 in June, 6'3" right-footed center back, and one of the ideas is that maybe they swap him for Enzo Barrenechea. What is clear in looking at all the links that I see, we are going young, we are going super high potential, we definitely want a right-footed center back and another goalkeeper this summer at the very least. Big issue number 3, managerial masterclass. No, it wasn't a Picasso, and Aston Villa is under no obligation nor desire to entertain anyone. There is one major objective: Champions League football next season. Did any one player on this board have an off day? And that comes down entirely to the intensive, detailed preparations, which clearly worked. The 11 without Yuri Tielemans, by the way, was the correct 11. They were completely focused. And that is all about the preparation led by the manager. The implications of achieving Champions League football again next year for this club are so monumental. They actually have to manage their contract discussions and recruitment plans because they don't know what competition they're going to be in next year. And if you are a super talented, highly sought after young player in Europe who wants to come to the Premier League in the summer, and you have the choice between a Europa League team or a Champions League team, guess which one you're choosing? The financial implications, well, you probably know based on this last year, they are incredible. So is there pressure on the manager and the players? You're damn right there is. And that's why this victory was so critical. All 3 points, not a draw. Without them, the CL dream is over. And we all know what Tottenham and Man United are up against over the next couple of weeks and where their priorities and their attention will lie. That's why this one was a must win. And despite Bournemouth's win at Arsenal last weekend, we came up against a side that's been in a bit of a patchy run in the Premier League, especially at home. Our tactical ideas were spot on. Deal with their front press, go long if you have to. Our team is fresh now. Are we witnessing a Dean Smith Project Restart survival type run just at the opposite end of the table? While Villa climbed one rung up the Premier League ladder on Saturday, the 24/7 services crew was up on ladders all around the country, including at Stafford Station, where some critical roof repair was being undertaken to the highest standards. Look at the tidy new gutter system, which will ensure proper drainage above and no damage down below. And by the way, this is a major client in Network Rail. What an endorsement for a family company. And while that was going on, Jay and the decorating team were busy working the stairs and repainting the banisters and spindles or balusters, whatever you call them, giving these stairs a more modern look. Roofing and decorating, commercial and residential, just two of the core capabilities of a family-owned, Villa-mad company that is looking to turn people like you into intergenerational repeat customers. When you're ready for a quality refresh at your location, whether it's the roof or in the foyer, start by visiting the website or use the phone numbers I put in the description of these videos. I had some people message the Holy Trinity Show Facebook group after the Fulham game that they thought they had subscribed to this channel but were unsubscribed for whatever reason by YouTube. It happens. All I ask is, can you check to make sure you're subscribed? Because I do appreciate it and it does help. And just with Facebook, for me, that platform is kind of like for my immediate friends and family. So don't be offended if I don't accept a friend request. I'd much rather you join the Holy Trinity Show private group. Just remember to answer the membership question and agree to the group rules, because I've had a lot of spammers joining the group in the past. Well, Douglas Louise asked to join the Holy Trinity Show Facebook group. That's how much he misses the Villa. He didn't answer the membership question, though, so I had to say no. It's been a miserable year at Juve for our former brilliant Brazilian, but imagine going on Twitch and admitting how much you miss your former club, which makes me wonder, who inspired the move? Was it Louise, his agent, the club, Alicia Lehman? However you look at it, I remember the dip in form. It was dramatic. End of March, early April. He had to have known it was coming. Was it a big issue? Very nearly. Alex Scott's face smashing into Tyrone Mings' elbow. I think Mings was an appropriate inclusion in this game against his former club, as I had predicted. But I thought that this moment from this angle would have been more closely inspected by VAR, because Mings does have a little glance over as Alex Scott nears. And we could see that Anthony Iriola's charade game is rather on point. Big issue number 2, late let-off. I still don't really know what happened in the dying seconds of the game. All I remember is that the ball came across and the entire season just flashed before my eyes. Another late equalizer from Bournemouth, 2 points dropped, and somehow, by divine intervention, as if the spirit of Peter McParland was stationed on the goal line to nod it away, somehow, some way, it didn't go in. And we preserved the victory. Matty Cash was once again at his very best in this game, and upon further inspection of this chance, Semenyo plays it across. Emi Martinez gets a crucial touch to it, which may have just impacted the duel below the crossbar between Matt Cash and David Jebbison, Canadian. But it was Cash who was stronger in the moment. It sure looked like it went off the top of his head and over, and he's the smaller guy in that duel. Imagine what we're talking about right now if that goes in. The tone of this show is different. The meaning of the final 2 games, completely different. It could have been the number 1 moment of this game, but we had already scored. We had something to hang on to, and by gosh, we did. Big moments. The late double headers in that first half. I mean, Aston Villa could have taken the lead much earlier, in and around the 47th minute, with a couple of great chances. And Boubacar Kamara had a sensational game. He was all over the park. He helped lock down our right side, Bournemouth's left. We've offered him a boatload to extend his stay at the club. Word is, he wants to play for Emery. He definitely wants to stay in the Premier League. But if there's one nitpicky little thing about our Frenchman, is that he doesn't contribute to goals himself. He doesn't score them. It's like it's not in his DNA. Ideally, every player on the park is able to chip in with 1 or 2 goals per season. And for Kamara, he finds himself on the end of an absolutely spectacular ball from Luka Dean, and he has got to score there. I mean, he has time. There's nobody around him. He has got to plant that ball with his head into the goal. Give Kepa some credit, but this is more of a bad miss than a great save, and in the end, thankfully, it didn't matter. And then Cash has a chance with the header on the rebound, and if that's 6 inches to the right, it's a goal there. I think that was less about Cash missing a great chance than Kepa making a great save by just sticking with it. Now, perhaps those 2 big chances late in the half were like the proverbial police battering ram smashing in your front door. There was the first one. The second one loosened the lock, setting the stage for the decisive blow. Minor issue, but Marco Asensio from the off over John McGinn was a big shout, although I could see because of, his ability to keep possession and his intricate passing in congested areas like the middle third with a hard pressing team. That makes some sense. But Asensio doesn't seem to have any pop on his passing. Like a couple of times he tried to play a through ball and it's bobbling and bouncing all over the place. The one where he hits the post, that too was like an off balance, kind of a feebleish shot, kind of like all of his penalties. Still, not a bad outing for him, and you can understand why McGinn would come in to lock it down. I just wonder if it reverses the other way on Friday. Amadou Onana, on the other hand, was definitely in contention for man of the match. He was everywhere in this game, and he doesn't have Yuri Tielemans' range of passing yet. But he is more physical, and he's more athletic than Tielemans, and he's faster. I mean, when those legs start to go, he's hard to catch. He had the one in the first half. We've seen him smash them from distance, too. That has caused problems for goalkeepers. On that one, he passes it off to Ollie Watkins. I wanted him to keep going. And by the way, Onana offers more in attacking and defending set pieces just by his stature. Major moment. Jacob Ramsey's expulsion. Stone cold, can't argue it. It's a yellow card. It's just a shame he had to take the first one, and I never got a good replay of what exactly happened, which was allegedly a coming together, just the faint whiff of maybe an attempted headbutt with Adam Smith after Smith had hacked down Ramsey while he was breaking away in the 45th minute. Ramsey was superb again for me, driving with the ball, turning away from trouble in an often congested midfield. There was just no end product from him. once he got into the penalty area. That's still to come. And there won't be any end product against Spurs either now, which is a shame because I think that matchup suits him. Still, though, a first career red card created complexity in trying to hold on to a 1-0 lead, but his teammates responded magnificently well, which somehow actually made the win more satisfying. And the number one big moment that defined Bournemouth 0, Villa 1, Watkins winner. And it wasn't just a game winner, as important as that part was. It was also a significant milestone in the Premier League history of this football club. Our Ollie from delightful Devon, once a toiler with Weston-super-Mare, hey Billy, scored the 75th goal in Villa colours to eclipse Gabby Agbonlahor. And there was the club already with the commemorative jersey from the match. So much impact in this one instance. And incredibly, Watkins scored that goal 6 minutes into added time at the end of the first half. In the reverse fixture, Evan Nielsen scored 6 minutes into added time in the second half. Did it not seem like he was genuinely and sincerely proud of this achievement? Because he has been the model professional and consistent performer for us, despite the well-publicized catalog of missed chances. And he actually targeted catching Gabby at the start of this season because he's a go-getter and a goal setter. And the next person to knock him off the perch has a big task on their hands. I am pleased as punch for Watkins. As for the conception and the actual mechanics of this goal, it appeared as though we were going to allow Antoine Semenyo to evade a hard forward press when he was penned deep into Cherry's territory, only for Matty Cash to step up and win the ball back. And then he gives it to Morgan Rogers. And now Morgan Rogers, we've talked about this a lot. He plays on that right-hand side. It is a far more defensive-oriented role because he's watching both Semenyo and Kerkez. So in the first half, he had the fewest touches of any player on the park. So he's starved of the ball, and yet he gets the ball, and in one split second, and with one glance up, he plays the only ball that Ollie Watkins could get on the end of. It is astounding to me how many times Rogers has done this. After that, it is only the most subtle of glancing touches. Not straightforward, not easy. Maybe even there's a little bit of luck involved. Who cares? It's millimeters to keep us in the hunt and also to change the course of club history. This is why I love football. It just gives us all these kinds of storylines. And all this amid speculation that he might be leaving us this summer. And if you approach that idea from a strictly non-emotional, strategic, and cold light of day standpoint, which is where football operations has to come at these kinds of decisions, then strictly based on age and the value we can get right now, it does make some sense. He probably has one big move left in his career, maybe a big one and a little one at the very end, and you can't begrudge a guy from wanting to cash in and have a big new challenge at another club. But he has been such a loyal and productive servant to this club, and you know who'd miss him the most is Morgan Rogers because they've combined for so many goals. Let's quickly update the categories I like to follow throughout the season. We're almost at the finish line. Improvements in the away record. Watkins and Rogers combined goals up by 1. We scored first. We got the clean sheet. We scored another goal in the final 15 minutes of the first half. And we once again drew more fouls than our opponent, much to the chagrin of the home supporters and their manager. The Sill Hill Brewery star performer was Emiliano Martinez. Debu, a virtual spectator last week, not on Saturday. And it wasn't about making a bunch of spectacular saves. I mean, there was one in the 82nd minute. This was about commanding his box. 6 high claims, 12 recoveries. Remember, the hosts had 10 corners. We had none. The world's number one played like it on the weekend. I don't even know which of Sill Hill's award-winning, deliciously handcrafted Birmingham brewed beers to serve them because everybody keeps telling me they are all fantastic. So here's what you do. On Friday, for the Spurs game. They open at noon. Just go and try all of them. And backed by popular demand for the final home game of the season, I can't believe it, Flelo's Pizza will be in the house. It's incredible to think this is the last home game, and the Sill Hill Taproom in Aston has been a bit of a good luck charm this year. Only one loss at Villa Park, and that was on opening weekend. Now for Tottenham on a Friday, rearranged from a Sunday. I'm not going to say anything revolutionary that you haven't already considered or were complaining about in this incredible show of hypocrisy by the Premier League. Do you remember when they moved the Liverpool fixture on us in an already taxing February when we were trying to navigate Premier League and Champions League and actually doing pretty well at the time? I mean, what if I had planned to come over from Canada for that game on Sunday, traveling on the Friday, only to find out it had been changed 10 days beforehand? Well, there are hundreds, maybe even thousands of similar stories like that right now. We're talking about two of the worst Premier League teams to ever compete in any European competition. I mean, 15th and 16th place. Come on. So let's reward them because one of our darling big TV clubs is going to be in the Champions League. The two biggest train wreck clubs, maybe Chelsea's in there, in the entire league, getting preferential treatment for their abysmal records. Whereas our team, strategic, well thought out, improvement year over year, owners that want to spend more money but are not being allowed to. It's gross. As for the matchup itself, who knows what state Spurs will be in come Friday as they mentally are preparing for the trip to Bilbao. We've already beaten them once at home this season in the FA Cup. The loss at their place might have been one of the worst for us this season, but in watching it again, a lot of those goals in the second half were self-inflicted. You know, will Ange, the big mumbling Aussie, rest anyone on Friday? Who knows? Who cares? I just want Villa to tonk this team. I want them to kick lumps out of them all over the park on Friday. Just knowing Unai Emery's way by now, I don't expect to see a dramatic departure in the starting 11 from what we've seen over the last couple of weeks. I could see Mings back in, though, to match up with a Solanke or a Richarlison. I could also see Maatsen back in just for pace. Whether it's Asensio from the off or maybe McGinn behind Watkins, is there room for Bailey or a Malen on the right side with the absence of Jacob Ramsey now? And given what's at stake, I highly doubt that Unai Emery wants a back-and-forth track meet type game. I'm having a difficult time believing that Friday is the final home game of the season already. And we played Spurs a couple of years ago late in the run-in, and Douglas Luiz gave us a free kick that helped us get closer to the Conference League. Can we get a similar type effort and result to inch us ever closer to another Champions League campaign? And you know what? I think the players, like the fans, will also have a bee in their bonnet over the late schedule change. Until Friday, thank you, as always, for watching. And of course, up the mighty Villa!